Jay is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Miami. He's done over $40 billion in M&A. I love your statement, especially on superpower. What is some advice you think that might help them get over the hook?
Find a good deal and you can cash them early, you can get a really good price.
They are the ones who need to focus and go all in and use that specific skill to build their business. There's a lot of misconceptions about the best way to do it.
I sold my business, it was a cold email.
Wow.
And
that's incredible. I'm going to remember to check the spam folder next time.
What is the secret sauce in the compelling message?
The juice may not be as much of a squeeze as it was in 2015, but there's still enough juice to be squeezed. Jay, thanks so much for coming on the Grow Big Ventures podcast. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So for those who don't know Jay already, Jay is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in Miami. He's done over $40 billion in M&A, invested in and grew hundreds of companies. Leader of one of the groups in Miami called Acquisition Collective, teaches dozens of other entrepreneurs how to build and scale companies. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So Jay, since you're in the M&A space and you've been doing this work for a long time, tell me how you got started originally and tell me how you got into the field.
Well, I started my journey in banking. I did everything from business banking, consumer banking, financing businesses, lines of credits, acquisitions. And then I got bored of finance, so I went into the operating side and I started in manufacturing, worked in operations, and I spent some years in China, ran a large manufacturing operation there, and came back and converted into consulting. And during my consulting days, I spent a lot of time helping private equity companies that bought businesses either to fix them or integrate them into their existing operations, and which I really enjoyed until I got bored of that. And then I went and I started my own company. And I grew it from 0 to 350 million sales. And then I exited that business and kind of semi-retired for a while. And then I got bored and then I came back. Now I'm doing multiple acquisitions as well as teaching other entrepreneurs how to acquire and scale businesses.
That's awesome. Really cool. Thanks. So you said you sold your company for 350 million. That's an incredible accomplishment. Can you talk to me a little bit about that business and what that exit was like for you?
When we started, there was no plan to exit. And we kind of grew with the trend at the time where all the online marketing was growing, was expanding. So we started as a real estate sales company. We did sales, we did mortgage, we did title, we did escrow. And we kind of took on that trend when Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com were growing. And we essentially took on the role of conversion for these leads. And as we grew, we found that more and more people wanted to get involved with that channel. And as we kind of refined and figured out a way to automate the conversion process, we started getting interest from larger operations who have been more traditional and haven't figured out how to convert these online leads, are a little bit more finicky and a little bit more lower conversion than they're used to. So that's kind of where that interest came, and that's where, how we kind of exited.
Amazing. Okay. Now, as someone very up to date with the M&A markets right now, it's changing a lot, right? Yeah. There's so many trends and movements in the industry that are happening just like this, especially with AI. Talk to me about what you're seeing right now in the markets. What's top of mind for you, and what are some trends you've been looking at?
Yeah. So whenever there's a new technological cycle that's changing, whether it is automation back in the day or the internet or SaaS products or anytime there is that change in technology, there is an opportunity for companies to run businesses at scale. So you have an existing operation that cannot adapt to this, technology change. Someone else who understands the impact of this technology comes in, acquires the existing companies, adds technology, adds better systems, and then sells. And so right now, AI is the new trend. Before we had online leads, we had voice over IP, we had all the SaaS products that came out to, make the businesses operate at a more efficient level. Now it's AI. AI is going to enter the sales side, is going to enter all the operations side, is going to enter the accounting and finance side. So whoever is able to leverage AI tools is going to be able to take on businesses that were doing X margin and double their gross margin, their net margin, be able to be more profitable with those assets.
Sure. So some industries, I'm sure, are more open to adoption to AI than others.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm sure there are some industries that are a little bit more outdated. What are some industries that you're most bullish on that have an opportunity to leverage AI, but might not be doing it most efficiently right now?
Well, all things home services, all things B2B services,
right. Yeah.
Anything that's in the physical world that where someone has to touch, someone has to fix, all those services can leverage AI in their marketing channels, their sales channels, their operation efficiency. There's so many places where you can insert AI services that can provide efficiency, can provide more profitability.
Gotcha. Okay. Really interesting. And one thing I love about you, Jay, is that you're big on community, right? Not only have you become successful, but one of your things is really helping the next generation of entrepreneurs through the Acquisition Collective. Yeah. And so I was fortunate to join the group a couple months ago, and I was able to meet a lot of other people like myself, like you, who are passionate about building and scaling businesses. Can you talk to me about what inspired you to create Acquisition Collective and what that's all about?
Yeah. So when I exited, I completely moved to Hawaii, retired, drank Mai Tais on the beach.
Nice.
And after a few months, I felt I felt down on myself, if you will. And I really felt that I was missing something. As I was, doing my meditations and walking on the beach and figuring out what it is that was missing, I was missing the two components that I enjoyed the most about my business, which is the ability to grow and learn, continuously see new things and connect with people that are doing different things and solving interesting problems. And then the other part that I missed was the mentoring of the employees, mentoring of my team, coaching my suppliers, coaching my clients. I really enjoyed that part of my business. So those two components where I'm continuously solving interesting problems, learning, meeting new people, learning from them, and mentoring, helping, coaching, those two are the two things that I miss the most about my businesses. So I decided, okay, let me figure a way to build these two components into something, and then hopefully, meet a lot of people, but also monetize and figure out a way how to generate some revenue.
Gotcha. That's amazing, Jay. And it's very inspirational, like how you're teaching the next generation now, which I think is really great. One of the things that I also wanted to ask you about is the impact of tech layoffs in M&A. And with all of the recent changes and a lot of people getting into the space, how have you seen that impacting M&A and private equity as a whole?
Yeah, a lot of the people that come to our Acquisition Collective come from tech. We're seeing a lot of talent either just leave or be laid off by these large companies. And these are really smart people, educated. They were high earners. They essentially feel like they need a new challenge, and they don't want to go back to the tech space because they understand how AI is eating pretty much everything. So they want to be in services, they want to be in companies and products, they want to, even if in software, they want to be in software that is related maybe to government, related to things that are not going to be displaced by AI. Very talented people that can definitely make an impact on any company. So why not leverage the SBA loan program where you can buy a business with 10% down and bring their skills, bring their knowledge, bring the things that they've learned from the large tech companies into these businesses and scale them at a level that never been seen. So I'm seeing this is like the biggest opportunity right now. These tech employees, tech workers, post-exit founders that are coming from that space into the Atoms.
So a lot of these people that have been in the tech space for, let's say, 20 years and they're ready to move on to something else, many of them haven't actually been an entrepreneur before and haven't been through the trials and tribulations that many people like yourself have been.
Yeah.
What is some advice you think that might help them get over the hook or get over that mental roadblock of taking the next leap and building or buying a business?
Yeah, I always tell the team or our members, understand who you are, understand what your strengths are. If your strength is operations, then partner with someone whose strength is sales and marketing. If you're sales and marketing salesperson, then partner with someone on ops side or finance side, and then bring those strengths together, partner together into, most likely you're buying from an entrepreneur who also has plenty of blind sides. Also, maybe more focused on the operation, but not sales, or more focused on sales and not operation. So you can bring those two sides into the business, either by yourself or with a partner, and you can leverage those skills. Now, the only thing that you're probably gonna have to learn is how to lead people in a certain industry. So to solve for that, usually I tell people to seek out businesses where there are people that you like, that you worked with in the past, that you enjoy working with. So if you're someone who's worked with accountants, for example, or that profile of like detail-oriented people, then that's a good profile to target. So you create a business that's a B2B, maybe an accounting firm, maybe a CPA, maybe a fractional COO type business where you're dealing with that type of client. Or if you're used to working with blue collar, then there's plenty of blue collar businesses that you can run because you're used to communicate and sell and lead that group of people. So it's just figuring out what's your superpower and what type of people that you like to work with and interact with, and identify that ideal business target. And once that happens, it's a lot easier from there.
Yeah, I love your statement, especially on superpower, right? Because a lot of people are good at a lot of things, but very few are great at specific things. And the ones that have that talent, that are